Colorado High School Activities Association basketball is on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com tonight from Brush High School. It's the Patriot League Tournament Consolation Semifinals as the visiting Strasburg Indians take on the Brush Lady Bead Diggers along with Matthew Jerome, John Beltran. A rough night for the Bead Diggers last night. Rough not because they didn't play competitively well, because at one point they were down by double digits, but they lost to Resurrection Christian 54-53 in a game in which the Diggers were down by as many as 12 points in the opening half. Then they drew to within one after three, but could not overtake Resurrection Christian. So as a result, they're in this game coming up tonight. And as for Strasburg, they were blown out by Eaton 52-19. Starting tonight for Strasburg, Jolene Roberts, Brooke Miller, along with Ashlyn Baca, sophomore, Kendry Renault, and Cheyenne Sorensen.
Last night, Brooklyn Cox did get hurt the last couple minutes, and I talked to Brush's coach, and she said it was just some bruised ribs, and she'll be able to play for Friday, but that definitely hurt them as last night, and she could have been pretty valuable going down the stretch for that. The Bead Digger starting lineup is brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loans, proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned Homestown Savings and Loan. With locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush, they're available 24/7 for your banking needs.
Amber Wolliver, Haley Unrein, along with Kendall Elliott, a junior, Sydney Odell, a senior, and fellow senior Maddie Rule. It's been an up-and-down year for Maddie. She had the injury, and you remember that game against Eaton where they got blown out. Without her, I mean, it's tough because she was very good as a sophomore, and when you're that good, when you're that young, and now a senior, you're expected to play well game in and game out, but she has to be healthy and available. As we get to the opening tip tonight.
The opening tip is brought to you by Buildings by Design. Buildings by Design has the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design.
It'll be Cheyenne Sorensen jumping against Maddie Rule, controlled by Strasburg. Going the wrong way and throwing it into the backcourt was Jolene Roberts. And that could explain quickly why they're a 7-14 team, Matthew. And Brush 12-9 going in, and Brush defeated Strasburg here 49-32 back on January 30th. Unrein at the top of the key, left-handed dribble, left side to Maddie Rule. Rule has the ball poked away, but she flags it down near the scorer's table, feeds it right side over to Sydney Odell into the lane, all the way, left-handed shot is up, and she missed it. And the ball is tipped around into the hands of Ashlyn, or 44, that's another one I don't have on the roster here, as the Bead Diggers take the ball away on the right baseline. Kendall Elliott bounce passed over to Wolliver, left of the lane, kicks it back out on the bounce to Odell. Cross-court pass, Elliott inside the three-point line, short on the 15-footer, but the rebound and a hop to Haley Unrein. Bead Diggers reset, and then the ball is poked out of bounds. Brush retains possession, three-quarters court, with 7:18 to go. Oh, that is Ashlyn Baca. I had the wrong number for. That's Baca who grabbed that initial rebound there for Strasburg. On the outside right, Wolliver with a basketball, back out to Elliott. Elliott against Baca, dribbles right baseline, double team, turns, got to get rid of it, does down low to Maddie Rule. She's fouled as she tried to underhand scoop it, and she was fouled down low by Kendry Renault. And to the line is Maddie Rule. And, Matt, I've heard you talking about the free throws, which have not been consistent for Brush this season.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for them up and down. Even last night, if they would have made a couple, could have won the game.
Yeah. Well, Maddie Rule nails the first. Second free throw coming up, and that is up, and that is in. Long season. We did our first game together November 30th, and here we are February 21st. But Greg and Matt doing a great job all season. Strasburg trying to make the pressure, and they cannot do it. It's taken away by Amber Wolliver. Second turnover by Strasburg. In the right corner, Kendall Elliott with a basketball. Baseball pass is not thrown well, at least towards the Bead Digger. Intercepted by Cheyenne Sorensen. Both teams with a couple of turnovers. 6:49 to go in the opening quarter. Brush 2, Strasburg nothing. On the outside left, Brooke Miller with a basketball. Picks up the dribble. Back out on the right to Sorensen. Now with the basketball, dribbling on the right baseline, all the way scooping up air ball. That was missed over there by Renault. Sydney Odell comes away with a basketball for the Bead Diggers. Odell dribbles right baseline, bounce pass to Wolliver. She dribbles, has the shot partially blocked. Rule in the lane, then she had it stripped away, and it's taken away by Renault. And Here comes Strasburg across the timeline with the basketball is Miller. Feeds it right side for Renault. Still 2-0 Brush, and the free throws from Maddie Rule. The three-pointer Renault is in and out. And the ball is grabbed by Maddie Rule. That's her first board. Unless you count the other one. I'm not sure she had full possession on the last one. She got stripped. Right baseline is Rule. Bounce pass inside to Unrein. She banks and scores. That was an excellent pass. But also the cut.
Yeah.
And the Beatdiggers got a cut to the basket of 4-0. Long pass into the front court. Brooke Miller, she's got a 3-on-2. Jump pass down low to Baca. Her shot is off the back of the rim and missed. And there's a tie for the rebound between Wooliver and Cheyenne Sorensen. Possession arrow Beatdiggers as Strasburg did win the opening tip, so Brush should throw it in.
Yeah, Brush has had a lot of good ball movement and off-the-ball movement. They've been off to a fast start here, and hopefully it can continue.
Wasn't it what Coach Hollander was upset with last night's second quarter? It didn't seem they had a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And she had to call that timeout. At the free throw line, Maddie Rule with the basketball, turns, kicks it back out to Elliott. Straight away, three in the air, is off the right side of the rim. The rebound, though, to Wooliver, and the Beatdiggers reset. She's got to get rid of it. Wooliver bounce pass on the baseline to Maddie Rule. She dribbles all the way, left-handed layup is around and no good. She missed it. And the rebound is pulled away by Strasburg, but then stolen by the Beatdiggers in the backcourt as the initial rebound went over there as the shot was made. Wooliver hits the shot for Brush, and now it's 6-0. Hit it on the left side. Long pass and a layup is up, and that's missed by Miller. And the shot is up and missed over there in a foul. Baca was able to grab the rebound, and the foul was committed by Amber Wooliver, her first. And to the line will be Ashlyn Baca with the Beatdiggers up 6-0 with 5:02 to go here in the opening quarter. John Beltran with Matt Jarrell here in this Patriot League Consolation Tournament semifinal, and the free throw is in and out. If the Beatdiggers win, they would play tomorrow at noon. That'll be on 94.5 The Ranch and 94.5theranch.com. In the fifth place game, Elliott and Oler are out. End of the game for the Beatdiggers is Allie Keller. And the second free throw is going to be off to the right. Maddie Rule grabs the rebound for Brush. Rule into the front court. Also in for the Beatdiggers, Kenzie Crate. She has the basketball on the outside right. Jump pass inside, and Keller banks and scores. And again, another illustration of cutting to the basket, Matt. 8-0 Beatdiggers, off to a great start. Here comes Brooke Miller across the timeline. She'll take a right wing three. Yes! Brooke Miller scores. Strasburg's first points, but they're down by 5. And keep in mind, they only had 19 points last night, so less than 5 a quarter. On the high right, Keller had the ball poked away and taken away very nicely there by Renault. The Beatdiggers commit their fourth turnover unofficially. Matt will give you the official numbers at halftime. And now the three left wing, and that's good again. And that is made by Kendry Renault. And all of a sudden, Strasburg is on a 6-0 run, and the Beatdiggers lead is down to 2 with 4:14 to go in the first quarter. Keller bounce pass left of the free throw line for Rule. Kicks it right baseline for Wooliver. Dribble, steps in, shoots from about 8 feet away and misses. Ashlyn Baca has the rebound, but then she dribbled into a Beatdigger who committed a foul in the backcourt. And that's going to be Wooliver's second foul. And that's the other thing. You don't want to be committing fouls 75 feet away from the basket. It's just, I mean, that's part of the basketball that frustrates coaches because it's taking
it's pointless.
It's pointless. It's taking unnecessary risk. Long chest pass to Miller. She was bodied up. No whistle. Miller all the way. Banks, scores, and a foul. And the game is tied at 8. I think the foul is committed over there by
Tataloni.
Yeah, Tatalini.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
No problem. Delana Tatalini with a foul. And Brooke Miller to the line, and she can give Strasburg the lead with 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. And the free throw is up and in. Didn't see that coming that quickly.
No. And he lived by the 3, and he dived by the 3, and 2 threes for Strasburg. They're living right now. This timeout is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office of Greg Mullen and Brush. Home, auto, life, health, State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today, 842-4555.
I mean, literally 45 seconds ago, Brush had an 8-0 lead.
Yeah.
The 2 threes, and then the long chest pass into the front court, and then the and one. So that's basically 3 3-point plays. And the Beatdiggers are down 9-8. Let's reset the lineup for Brush. It's Craich, Odell, Maddie Rule, Allie Keller. And the inbounds passer for the Beatdiggers over there is Tatalini. On the outside right, Keller with the basketball. Keller looking on the outside right, back out to Maddie Rule. She double-teamed, dribbles to her left. Bounce pass over to Odell. Odell at the top, dribbles to her right against Miller, dribbles towards the right baseline, picks up the dribble, overhead pass to Tatalini, bounce pass to Rule straight away. Maddie Rule, jump pass, right baseline, shot is up, and that is missed over there by Kenzie Craich, and the rebound is controlled by Kindry Renault, and Strasburg's obviously playing better tonight than last night when they only scored 19 points. Here's the shot from 16, that is missed over there, and the rebound by Sydney Odell. Renault missed that shot, Odell with her second board, dribbles out of traffic, 3:19 to go in the opening quarter, and the Bee-Diggers trail by a point after being up by 8. Odell's got to get rid of that basketball, tried to throw it off an Indian instead of throwing it to a teammate, and the ball is intercepted. Another turnover for the Bee-Diggers. They're getting careless here in this first quarter. Here is Renault in the lane all the way, throws up a wild shot. Got it, nothing but the arms there of Maddie Rule. Rule away with the basketball. She's got a 3-on-4. Rule middle of the lane. She puts it up and misses. Oh, that's an offensive foul. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I thought she was still moving, but
yeah.
It's unfortunate.
The Strasburg Indian takes the contact, but that counts as another turnover for the Bee-Diggers.
Yeah.
With 2:54 to go in the opening quarter, they're almost approaching as many turnovers as they have points.
And they struggled with that last night as well, was turnovers.
Yeah, you've got to keep it in a playoff scenario, 15 or less.
Yeah.
And right now they're on pace to have close to 25. Nearly a steal by Keller, dribbling left of the lane, faking that shot and then having the ball poked away. Over there is Jaden Vincent into the game for Strasburg. Bounce pass to Renault. Fakes the three. Dribbles to her right. Steps inside the three-point line. Miller fakes that shot. Her little 12-footer off the glass. It's nothing but glass. And the ball is volleyballed around into the hands of Allie Keller of Brush. Keller with 2:24 to go. Long pass right baseline to Tatalini. Back out to Keller. Keller dribbles to her left towards the top of the three-point circle. Brush trails 9-8, 2:15 to go, first quarter, and nothing but glass thrown up there by Sydney Odell. Ashlyn Baca comes away with the basketball for the Strasburg Indians, her third board. Here is Renault over to Miller. Miller into the lane. Jump pass inside Baca. Banks and scores. Right off the glass for Baca. She's got her first points of the game, and Strasburg is on an 11-0 run. They lead by 3 with 1:52 to go in the first quarter on Brush's home court. Keller throws down low for Odell. Right baseline shot, Tatalini off the back of the rim. And Baca has another rebound for the Indians. There's the outlet to Renault, crossing midcourt. Long chest pass, Miller banks and misses. And the ball is tipped around into the hands of Miller. She puts it up off the bottom of the rim, and the ball is out of bounds. That's off of Odell. And retaining possession is Strasburg with 1:35 to go. Allie Keller's out of the game. Haley Unrein is back in.
Strasburg just keeps on pushing the pace, and it's working for him. Brush is just taking some difficult shots on the other side, which has led to Strasburg's breakaway points here.
Yeah, the Bee-Diggers look out of sync here. They even had trouble with substitutions. 2 players were going out when only 1 needed to go out in a sequence there. Outside right, Renault, 3 in the air, is around and no good. And the ball is rebounded by Sydney Odell. Odell dribbling along the right baseline, back towards the middle, crossing the timeline. 1:20 to go in the first quarter. Strasburg 11, Brush 8. Left baseline, Madeline Sawyer into the game. Bounce pass left of the lane for Unrein, straight away for Craich. Now here's the shot by Tatalini, misses from about 7 feet away, and the ball is off the foot of Ashlyn Baca out of bounds. And Brush retains possession. They need Maddie Rule in there. They need some offense at this point because they haven't had it in about a good 3 minutes.
Yeah, and when Maddie goes out, someone needs to step up, and no one has it yet. But she did check back in, so we'll see offense run through her.
Wolliver fakes that shot over to Maddie Rule in the right corner. Will she take the 3? And she throws the overhead pass here to Odell. Her 3 in the air is off the right side of the rim. And the ball is rebounded over there by Strasburg. And then it's poked out of bounds. It was taken away by Jolene Roberts. And Strasburg has possession with 52.9 seconds to go. And Maddie Rule's a very good ball distributor, but I think at times she's going to have to take it to the basket if the rest of the offense is cold, which is the case right here.
Yep.
On the outside right, Roberts with the basketball, and then she tried to lob it inside. I'm not sure to who. Sawyer takes it away for Brush. Sawyer all the way. Had the ball knocked out of bounds from behind. And retaining possession are the Bee-Diggers, but that should have been an easy 2 there, but I don't know if that's her strength necessarily. It looked like she slowed down the dribble a little bit. Sawyer lobs into Rule, dribbles, and she puts it up and in, and that's what they need.
Yep.
Just get it to Maddie Rule as much as possible. That snaps about a 4-minute drought and stops an 11-0 run. The 3 from Renault hits the top of the rim, but the ball is rebounded over there by Jaden Vincent. Strasburg resets, 22 seconds to go in the opening quarter. On the outside left is Vincent, guarded by Wolliver, gets a pick, dribbles towards the top of the key. Now on the high right is Renault. Dribbles right baseline. Double team. Puts up a shot. And that is short from about 10 feet away. Amber Wooliver with the basketball. 8 seconds to go. Crossing midcourt with 6. Bodied up and fouled by Renault. That'll be her second foul. That's not a very smart foul there either.
Yeah.
Because when you got 6 seconds to go, you're already on your first foul.
And it was a smart play by Amber Wooliver going into the body rather than just going right down the court.
Yeah, she drew the contact.
Yep.
Absolutely. 3/4 court. Wooliver to throw it in. Wooliver lobs it towards the top to Rule. 4 seconds to go. Maddie dribbling, crossover into the lane. Back with 1. Wooliver takes the long 3, and that is off by about 3 feet to the left. And that's the end of the opening quarter. With the score, Strasburg 11, Brush 10. You're listening to the Patriot League Tournament Consolation Semifinals from Brush on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. We begin the second quarter. John Beltran here with MJ. That's not Michael Jordan, but Matthew Jarrell. And then the ball thrown in, and Strasburg has got it. And then the ball is thrown away in the backcourt, and that's part of the mess that we've seen here in this game so far. The Indians committing another turnover, but they haven't committed as many as Brush, at least the totals that I have here. Matthew with an 11-10. Brush a deficit at this point. To throw it in on the offensive end is Sawyer over to Rule. Now here is Wooliver. She'll take the left wing 3, and that's good. Her right foot was actually on the line, so it's a 2 for Amber Wooliver, but the Bead Diggers lead 12-11. 7:43 to go, second quarter. They were up 8-0 to begin this game. With a basketball on the outside right, Brooke Miller dribbling right baseline, puts up a shot, and an offensive foul. Taking the contact was Wooliver. And the foul by Brooke Miller is her first. It's Sawyer, Elliott, along with Rule, Unrein, and the inbounds passer Wooliver for Brush. Brooke Miller along with Jolene Roberts. And I don't think, Ashlyn Baca's out there. And also with Cheyenne Sorensen and Jaden Vincent. Unrein on the high left to Sawyer. Left baseline for Wooliver. Dribbles to her right, back out to Sawyer. Back towards the top. Swings it right side to Rule. Overhead pass down low for Wooliver. Dribbles, and then she throws it right baseline for Unrein. She throws up an air ball from 10 feet away. And the ball's taken away by Brooke Miller. Miller with the basketball behind her back. Top of the three-point circle. Right side, Roberts. Wide open 3. It's an air ball. It's out of bounds, and that's the other reason that these teams are middle to lower in the Patriot League. We don't see a lot of crisp shooting. And even if you move the ball around, hitting from the outside has got to be something that's on a more consistent basis.
Yeah.
And we've seen Brush's strength here. When they cut to the basket, they can score. Here with the basketball is Amber Wooliver dribbling to her right. Right baseline to Unrein. Back out to Wooliver behind the three-point line. Now to Haley Unrein. Little 15-foot floaters off the back of the rim. And the rebound is into the hands of Brooke Miller, her third. Miller by herself into the front court. 6:40 to go. She'll take the 3, and that's off the right side of the rim. Madeline Sawyer controls the rebound. The outlet to Rule. 6.5 to go, second quarter. Brush 12, Strasburg 11. Left to the lane for Rule. Kicks it right side to Unrein. Wide open is Wooliver over there. She'll take the 3, and that's off the back of the rim. The long rebound into the hands of Renault. I think the Bead Diggers are just going to have to take it to the rack.
Yeah, that's where they've gotten most of the points already.
Well, look what Baca just did. She gets the feed on the right baseline, and she scores right off the glass. Ashlyn Baca now with 4. Strasburg reclaims the lead. It's 13-12, 6:04 to go, second quarter in this Patriot League Tournament Consolation semifinal. Left baseline, Sawyer misses the shot from about 15. The shot is up and around and good on the rebound by Kendall Elliott. And again, case in point, and now we got a turnover in the backcourt. I'm not sure if that was a travel, but a turnover by Strasburg, already their third in the quarter. Unrein is out. Kenzie Craich is back in. And the Bead Diggers with a 1-point lead have the basketball with 5:53 to go before halftime. And to trigger it in is Sydney Odell. Odell with the basketball on the offensive end to the left of the basket. Lobs it back out to Elliott. Her rainbow from about 15 feet away. No good, but is tipped into her hands. Then she puts it up and misses off the black back of the rim. Then Rule misses. Might have been partially blocked. And the ball's into the hands of Cheyenne Sorensen. So here comes Strasburg the other way. Right baseline. Now the shot by Miller. Good. That's a three-pointer in the corner for Brooke Miller. And all of a sudden Strasburg is back on top, 16-14. I just think Brush is taking too many shots from the perimeter.
Yeah,
they've got to go inside.
Yeah, I think they've been open, so they've been taking the shots, but they haven't been falling. On the other side, Strasburg, once again, just shooting up threes, and it's been 50-50 make and miss, and right now they have the lead.
Tie up in the front court there. Brush will retain possession. The possession arrow pointing in their direction. And the Bee Diggers haven't made a three yet. They haven't attempted too many, but there's a reason Brush is being left open on some of these shots because they're not making them. And they'll start covering them when the Bee Diggers start making them, and that'll open up the inside game even more. Odell to throw it in, lobs it towards the top to Craich on the outside left to Wolliver. Wolliver dribbles into the lane, back out on the high right to Maddie Rule. Rule with a left-handed dribble over to Odell. Odell to her right of the lane, picks up her dribble back out to Craich, inside towards Tatalini. Nearly lost the basketball and got it back, kicks it back out to Odell, fakes, dribbles out to the right to Craich. Craich along the right baseline, jump pass to Wolliver, straight away to Odell, three in the air. There you go for Sydney Odell. She drills the triple, and the Bee Diggers are back in the lead, 17-16. 4:45 to go second quarter. Outside left, the shot is up and in by Jaden Vincent. She had her right foot inside the three-point line, and Strasburg is back in the lead, 18-17, 4:34 to go second quarter. Wolliver bounce pass for Maddie Rule, all the way banks and scores.
Moving without the ball.
As they say in the yard, that's pretty. 6 points now. 19-18. Overhead pass. Miller down low, poked away, intended for Baca. And now a tie-up between Odell and Baca. Possession arrow is pointing in Strasburg's direction. Allie Keller will check in for Amber Wolliver. I don't know how good of a game it is, but it's a nice competitive game.
Yeah.
We've seen flows of consistency, but then at other times it gets a little bit choppy. All right, to throw it in three-quarters court will be Renault with the Bee Diggers up by a point, 19-18, nearly midway through the second quarter. John Beltran with Matthew Jarrell here from Brush High School. The winner will play for fifth place tomorrow at noon. The loser for seventh place tomorrow, or I should say Friday, not tomorrow at 9 a.m. at UNC in Greeley. And the entry pass and the shot is missed over there by Cheyenne Sorensen. Maddie Rule away with the basketball. Here come the Bee Diggers. Right baseline. Odell has to get rid of it. Jump pass is tipped away. Rule flags it down. Over to Keller. Fakes the three, but she traveled. And the Bee Diggers, I don't know, I've got 7 turnovers. You might have a different total.
Yeah, I got 7. That is their first one this quarter.
They were much more disciplined here to begin the second quarter as opposed to the first. Again, Matt will have the official stats. I'm just a gas bag here keeping them. Madeline Sawyer in for Maddie Rule. Now this is a question you had. Where does the offense come from right here?
Yeah.
This is what they have to establish without Maddie in there. But you know how you get that offense? Pass, and cut.
Which they've been doing great this game. For me, it has to be Brush is filled with seniors. One of the seniors need to step up. It's postseason. You need to play like it's a win or go home, basically.
Right, yeah, even though that's not the case, but you're right. Their seeding's going to be a lot worse, and they could jeopardize their chances of getting in if they don't do something here. And Vincent misses the layup, and the rebound is into the hands of Tatalini. Tatalini into the front court. Bounce pass down low, and that's off the feet and hands there of Kenzie Craich. And it's taken away there by Strasburg and Cheyenne Sorensen. Coming the other way is Renault. She'll take a stand-up three, and it's no good. And the rebound to Baca. Dribbles, puts it up, and she's fouled. And to the line will be Ashlyn Baca to shoot 2.
Cargill Meat Solutions. Cargill is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com.
And the first free throw's off the back of the rim. Yeah, last night when I was doing the opening round of the girls' state tournament game, Fort Morgan and Longmont, the student section, every time Longmont would be at the line, they would all chant, "In your head, in your head." And they only went 4-9.
I like it.
I mean, yeah, it was, I tried not to laugh. Second free throws, an air ball did not get to the rim, so the Bee Diggers have it up by 1. And, yeah, when you have about 100 kids chanting, "In your head," it can be quite intimidating. Here's Keller the other way for Brush. The Bee Diggers trying to extend the lead. Keller behind the three-point line, looking. Swings it right side of the bounce over to Tatalini. Dribbles to her left. Tatalini double team. Bounce pass right over to Craich. Now on the right baseline. The shot is missed over there by Sawyer. And the rebound is pulled away by Strasburg, and a foul by the Bee Diggers in the backcourt as Renault picked up her 4th rebound. Allie Keller commits her second foul again, committing the fouls about 75 to 80 feet away from the basket. And Keller's out of the game. Maddie Rule quickly back in. She gets brief breathers.
And she does pretty good for the quick breaks she gets. I know I would have tired legs at the end of the game.
She's well conditioned. You and me both. On the outside right, fresh into the game right now. Let's see who that is for. That is Reagan Renault. And now the three by Vincent is off the back of the rim. And a nice strong rebound there by Maddie Rule. Boy, she could be working in a double-double tonight. Maddie Rule at the top of the basketball. Jump pass, right corner. Odell inside the three-point line, and she throws it off the glass. But Craich comes away with the ball. Now here's Odell. Odell back out to Rule. Fakes the three. Jump pass back out to Craich. Odell dribbles to her right of the lane, all the way off the glass and in! Sydney Odell scores. And the Bead Diggers have extended the lead, 21-18, 2:21 to go second quarter in this Patriot League Tournament consolation semifinal. On the outside right, Renault three, and it's no good. And the strong side rebound controlled by Madeline Sawyer, her second. Long pass down low for Tatalini. She traveled. If she took that one dribble, she would have had an easy layup, but did not. And the Bead Diggers commit their third turnover of the quarter, unofficially the ninth of the game, and Jaden Vincent is out for Strasburg. The Bead Diggers make substitutions as well.
Yeah, too bad it's not the NBA. She would have gotten away with that one.
Oh, she wouldn't have, it wouldn't have been half a step there. Yeah. Here with the basketball on the outside right is Brooke Miller for Strasburg. Lobs it down low for Baca. She banks and misses. And I think Maddie Rule was fouled, and she was by Baca. Boy, you get her in foul trouble as strong as she is, although I've only got that as her first.
Yeah.
And that'll be the 14th foul. The Bead Diggers have committed 6, and to throw it in will be Haley Unrein. But Brush has to separate themselves a little bit more from Strasburg. This game is too close right now for the Bead Diggers. On the outside right, Odell with the basketball. Pass to the top for Unrein in the left corner for Wooliver. Dribbles to her right. Bounce pass to Unrein. Swings it right baseline for Odell. Little 8-footers off the back of the rim. And the ball is out of bounds off Maddie Rule.
She had an opportunity to drive, but she went for the jump shot. It was still a good look, just didn't fall for Brush.
Well, again, I mean, when they start hitting those shots consistently, the defensive philosophy will change for Strasburg.
Yeah.
And the entry pass might have been off of Rule's hands. No, they're going to say she didn't touch it, intended for Baca. So that's a turnover for Strasburg. And here come the Bead Diggers, up 21-18. With a minute 27 to go, second quarter in this consolation semifinal. Wooliver bounces it back out to Unrein. Straight away to Maddie Rule. Left of the lane, here is Wooliver, fakes, picks up her dribble, wants to put up a shot, but she's trapped over there. Back out to Unrein. Haley Unrein, crossover dribble. She will hand it off to Odell. Odell behind the three-point line. Dribbles towards the corner, bounce pass towards Rule. Rule all the way up and under, misses the shot. Maddie Rule goes for the rebound, but the ball is loose, and it's picked up by Brooke Miller. Yeah, the Brush team 2 years ago was very tall. This team is more guard-oriented, especially height-wise. On the outside right, Miller well behind the three-point line. Gets a pick from Sorensen at the free throw line. Jump pass down low. Sorensen banks and looked like she was fouled. No whistle. And she misses it. Amber Wooliver grabs the rebound for Brush. Wooliver right of the lane all the way off the glass, and she traveled. 35.2 seconds to go. And it will be Strasburg basketball. Here come the Indians the other way. And here is Kindry Renault against Odell. Swings it left side for Miller. Miller gets a pick, dribbles towards the top at the free throw line. Jump pass right side Renault. She can tie the game, and she does. She nails the three-pointer, Renault. And the game is tied at 21 with 16 seconds to go before the half. Wooliver the other way, left side for Rule. Rule left of the lane, kicks it back out to Unrein in the corner. She's got to get rid of it and does in the bounce pass to Wooliver. 5 seconds to go. Right side to Odell with 3. Straight away to Elliott. She dribbles all the way. The runner's up off the back of the rim and no good. And that's the end of the opening half. With the score, Brush 21, Strasburg 21. It's a 3-minute break as you're listening to the Patriot League Tournament Consolation Semifinals from Brush on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. We begin the third quarter, and to begin the third quarter, Maddie Rule hits a three-pointer from the right corner, but Kindry Renault counters for Strasburg with a little scoop shot, and the Bead Digger lead is 24-23, 40 seconds into the third quarter. Haley Unrein, left-handed dribble towards the top, guarded by Brooke Miller. Unrein all the way, bounce pass to Odell, left baseline, takes a dribble to her right, had the shot partially blocked, taken by Rule. She misses a little two-footer, and Ashlyn Baca comes away with the basketball. Strasburg looking for the lead. 24-23 Bead Diggers, nearly 1 minute into the third quarter. We'll set the lineups here for the Bead Diggers. It's Wooliver, Odell, Elliott, Maddie Rule, and Haley Unrein. Left baseline, Miller throws up a runner from about 15 feet away. That is a terrible decision there. Sydney Odell grabs a rebound as it I mean, I've seen runners from about maybe 10 feet away, but that was almost like let's play some sort of dodgeball against the glass. Wolliver with a basketball gets a pick from Rule all the way. Her little floater off the back of the rim, no good. And the ball is loose, and it's picked up over there. That is by Cheyenne Sorensen on the outlet to Renault. With Baca and Jolene Roberts and Brooke Miller dribbling to her right as Renault has the ball tipped away by Rule, picked up by Baca. Back out to Renault, straight away three, and that's off to the right. And the ball is volleyballed around into the hands of Maddie Rule of Brush. Another rebound for her on the outlet to Odell into the front court. Odell towards the top of the three-point circle, picked up by Miller. Crossover dribble right of the lane all the way. Had the shot blocked out of bounds by Ashlyn Baca. And that's the issue with Baca inside. It's hard to get shots over her, especially when you're a guard.
Yeah.
Bounce pass down low for Elliott. She's fouled. That's an excellent pass by Odell to the cutter Elliott. Odell found the cutter, and Elliott to the line to shoot two as the foul was committed over there by Cheyenne Sorensen. That'll be her first.
B&B Appliance, when you're shopping for new appliances, shop the best appliance store in Fort Morgan. B&B Appliance carries a full and complete line of Whirlpool appliances and will help you find your perfect fit. B&B Appliance in downtown Fort Morgan.
First free throws off the back of the rim. Greg Gatto will be with Matt here for game number 2 at 7 o'clock. When the B-Digger boys in that consolation semifinal take on Estes Park. Second free throw from Elliott is in the air, and that one is in. Brush 25, Strasburg 23. Under 6 minutes to go in the third. Brooke Miller across the timeline, dribbling to her right. Picked up by Unrein. Cross-court pass to Roberts. Roberts against Odell. Back out to Sorensen. Check that. That's Renault. Renault guarded by Haley Unrein. Left corner. Roberts' three is off the back of the rim. And the ball is poked out of bounds. It's off of Strasburg. And the B-Diggers have the basketball up by 2 with 5:43 to go in the third quarter. Here comes Amber Wolliver for Brush. Wolliver gets a pick. Dribbles to her right. And then she traveled. She wanted to take a little set shot there, but she kept going. And for the B-Diggers, that's their 11th turnover. And to throw it in will be Cheyenne Sorensen as Strasburg looks to perhaps take the lead. They did nail 4 threes in the opening half. Renault the other way, guarded by Odell. Gets a pick from Baca. Jump pass to Baca at the free throw line. In the right corner, the Miller three, good. And it's a 1-point lead for the Indians. Brooke Miller with her third trifecta of the game, 26-25. Strasburg with 5:11 to go, third quarter. This was a 17-point win for Brush less than 3 weeks ago. Here is Allie Keller. Bounce pass to Rule. She banks and scores, and Maddie Rule could be unstoppable, but off that pass from Keller made it look easy.
Yep.
Maddie Rule now with 11. The B-Diggers up by 1. Renault with a basketball. Cross court on the outside right to Miller. Dribbles right lane, and then she had the ball blocked. And it's taken away by Kendall Elliott. Here come the B-Diggers the other way. Maddie Rule straight away. Dribbles left to the lane. Back out to Odell in the left corner. Odell dribbles to her right. Picks up the dribble. Ball poked away. And now the ball is loose and it's out of bounds off of Strasburg's Brooke Miller. And the B-Diggers retain possession up by a point. 27-26. Into the game is Kenzie Craich for the B-Diggers. Delana Tatalini is in for Brush as well. Here is Sydney Odell at the top of the basketball. Guarded by Miller, gets a pick from Rule, dribbles right of the lane. Jump pass is out of bounds. It's off of Baca, though. And those jump passes, you got to be very careful with that once you commit.
Yeah, and you can really see Brush is really trying to work the paint area. On the other side, they really need to defend the three-point line if they want any chance of winning this game.
Odell misses the shot off the entry pass from Keller, and the ball is taken away there by Kindry Renault. Renault across the timeline, her fifth board unofficially. Renault at the free throw line, fouled by Odell. And for Odell, that'll be her first foul, the team's second. Or check that first team foul. Both teams have committed one foul here. Kendall Elliott's back in for Sydney Odell. The B-Diggers up by a point. With 4:17 to go in the third. And to throw it in is Kindry Renault. Still looking, lobs it to Baca, right of the lane. Takes a dribble, bounces it back out to Miller. Miller, right baseline. Here is Sorensen. Sorensen back out to Miller, right of the lane. Left-handed dribble, puts up a shot off to the right. And Maddie Rule grabs another rebound. And she's almost got a double-double here. Rule at the top, left-handed dribble. On the left baseline, back out to Craich. Jump pass is Poked away, but taken away by Keller. In the lane, her little runner's up and off the back of the rim and no good. And the rebound is Cheyenne Sorensen. Sorensen nearly lost the basketball. Swings it back out to Renault. 3:46 to go, third quarter. And the three by Renault. Good! It rattles in for Renault, and the Beat Diggers have to guard that.
Yeah, they're just allowing her to just walk down the court, and she just pulled up and took the shot and made it.
That's 6 threes in the game here for Strasburg. Maddie Rule the other way, right-handed scoop around and no good, and she's fouled driving along the right baseline. Maddie Rule to the line with the Beat Diggers down by 2. The foul was committed by Ashlyn Baca. That's her second. How many rebounds? I have Rule with 9. You might have her with...
I have her with 10.
All right, so she's got a double-double now with 11 points and 10 rebounds, and the free throw is off the back of the rim. And the Beat Diggers, after making their only 2 free throws of the opening half, are now 1 out of 3 here in the third quarter. Second free throw is upcoming to draw Brush to within 1. And that one is up and in. The Beat Diggers will not pressure in the backcourt. I don't know how much pressure they've applied in the backcourt this season as they trail by 1 with 3:23 to go in the third. Here's Renault into the lane, puts it up straight away. Good. Little 5-footer there for Kendry Renault. She's had a big third quarter here. She scored 7 points in a quarter, 13 in the game. 31-28, right wing, Keller 3, and that's an air ball, and Tatalini tries to save it in, cannot, and the Beat Diggers are in danger right now of falling behind even further with 3:06 to go in the third. Down 31-28 as Strasburg has dominated the outside game. The Beat Diggers do have a 3 from Maddie Rule to begin this quarter, 1 from Sydney Odell as well. Here's Renault left of the lane, back out to Jaden Vincent at the free throw line. Vincent swings it right side, ball poked away, and there's a foul on Tatalini. As that pass was thrown to Reagan Renault, Tatalini commits her second foul.
I'm okay with that foul. You know, she's trying to go for the steal. It's a good hustle foul.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if she comes away with that, it could be a layup.
Yeah.
That was a good calculated risk. The entry pass to Miller, right baseline, jump pass down low for Sorensen. She's trapped over there. Now Miller has the shot partially blocked by Rule along the right baseline. Tatalini with the basketball for Brush, crossing the timeline at the top. Maddie Rule on the high left. Swings it down low for Elliott. Dribbles, banks, and misses short. And the rebound put back Tatalini, and she misses. And then the ball is into the hands of Courtney Manahan in there. Into the game for the first time. And now we get a whistle and a double dribble by Renault. First turnover in the quarter by Strasburg, but the Beat Diggers trail by 3 still with 2:27 to go. Third quarter, Strasburg 31, Brush 28. And here comes Amber Wolliver at the top of the three-point circle. Wolliver backs up, fakes that 3. Miller right on top of her. Bounce pass left side for Tatalini, left corner for Rule. She'll take the 3, and that is short. And the ball is wrestled away. Elliott had it, along with Brooke Miller. Possession arrow, Strasburg.
With the beginning of the game, we saw a lot of good ball movement, a lot of off-the-ball movement for Brush. Right now, they're just, for me, I see a lot of just stagnant players, a lot of one-on-one, and taking a difficult shot.
Well, Strasburg is clearly trapping the inside now because the Beat Diggers are not able to beat him for the outside, and that's a 3 there for Brooke Miller. They have got 7 threes in the game. Miller's got 4 of them by herself. She's got 15. It's a 6-point lead for Strasburg. Right corner, 3. Craich is off the back of the rim, and there's a foul. Who went over the back? And I think going over the back was Renault of Strasburg. That'll be her third. And Craich is out and Odell is in, but the Beat Diggers have a very, very limited outside game tonight. Very limited. Let's see if Tatalini to the cutter, Odell, and Odell traveled. Yep, she was trapped down there. They're just trapping the inside. They're not going to allow those cutters. I mean, it's happened, but it's not going to happen consistently.
No.
Beat Diggers now apply the pressure, and on the baseline was the other Renault, and that's what I thought Brush would do earlier, try to force turnovers in the backcourt with a little press there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Strasburg has any really true point guards, so I think if Brush applies pressure, they are able to get some steals and hopefully easy points off of that.
Maddie Rule with the basketball on the high left, bounce pass near the timeline to Wolliver, dribbles right of the lane, right corner for Odell. Odell against Vincent, kicks it back out to Maddie Rule. Rule on the high right, and they're going to call her for traveling. And the Beat Diggers have committed 13 turnovers, 3 in the quarter with 1:28 to go. And again, this is their biggest deficit. They were up by 8 early and now trail by 6. So essentially, since that 8-0 run, Brush has been outscored 34-20. Baca in the lane and then throws it in the right corner. Do we have a kick? And we did. And that'll stay with Strasburg on the offensive end. And they're desperately searching for offense. Madeline Sawyer into the game for Maddie Rule. This is a critical stretch. You're taking her out down by 6 with 1:24 to go. This is a big gamble for Brush at this point. Miller down low for Baca, banks, and she misses. And the rebound and putback is missed by Sorensen. She gets it back up, but she misses again. And then we've got a whistle as the bead digger goes down to the floor, and that's Amber Wooliver. And I think Sorensen went over the back. Unless that, no, it must have been a tie-up. It was a tie-up. Boy, but talk about opportunities they had there. They had a lot of opportunities there to take an 8-point lead and missed them. Odell to throw it in. Wooliver pressured in the backcourt with 1:15 to go. Wooliver across the timeline, and then she lost control of the basketball out of bounds. Brooke Miller with some excellent defense, just basically kind of chasing her towards that sideline, and she dribbled it out of bounds, and the Bead Diggers now have 14 turnovers, and the Bead Diggers call a timeout.
This Brush timeout is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to Office Greg Mullen and Brush. Home, auto, life, health, State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today, 842-4555.
Speaking of Greg Gatto making an appearance. He'll call the 7 o'clock game here with Matt, and since he got here, I think it was a closer game. Greg, we need some shots to fall here. We got 9 minutes and 12 seconds of basketball, and we're looking at a 9 a.m. game tomorrow. And Matt has committed to that game tomorrow, or Friday. I keep saying tomorrow. What am I saying? Because this used to be a Tuesday, Thursday, Friday format. They didn't play this tournament ever on Wednesdays. But that's a bad excuse. I'm just getting old. Senior moments. All right, let's set the Bead Digger lineup here. Sydney Odell, along with Madeline Sawyer, Maddie Rule. Again, a brief breather for her. Kendall Elliott and Haley Unrein. And the Bead Diggers are going to pressure in the backcourt. Ashlyn Baca, Brooke Miller, along with Reagan Renault, Jaden Vincent, and the inbounds passer Cheyenne Sorensen. Strasburg leads 34-28, 72 seconds to go in the third. Backcourt pass to Reagan Renault, pressured by Maddie Rule. And boy, nice left-handed and right-handed dribble into the front court for Renault. Right side for Miller, down low for Sorensen, double team, bounce pass to Baca in the lane, swings it back out, but then it's intercepted by Sydney Odell. 10 turnover unofficially for Strasburg. Odell dribbles right to the lane, and then she throws a bounce pass intended for Unrein, who was cutting the other way, and it goes out of bounds. And the Bead Diggers are kind of duplicating what they did in the first quarter when they had trouble taking care of the basketball. The problem is here in this quarter, they've only scored 7 points as opposed to 13 for Strasburg, and the Indians to throw it in with backcourt pressure. Renault in the backcourt to Baca. Baca dribbles towards her own basket, now dribbles out of traffic, crosses the timeline. Baca then is fouled by Sydney Odell. Odell commits her second foul. That's the team's fourth. And to throw it in will be Renault, three-quarters court. Renault looking, still looking. Gets rid of it towards Baca, but it's tipped away by Elliott. And Haley Unrein comes away with the basketball. Unrein then had the ball stripped from behind, and the Bead Diggers got to pass this ball, and Baca has the basketball. Strasburg the other way. With the basketballs, Reagan Renault, and her pass is tipped away. Now we're getting some sloppy ball down low. Sorensen had the ball, and the shot blocked off her own foot, or off her own hand out of bounds. Boy, no flow to either possession there.
Yeah, and that's due to defense on both sides.
Here comes Brush the other way. Left corner, Rule 3 is in and out. And the ball is out of bounds. It's off of the Bead Diggers and Brooke Rule. And you know what I say right now, the Bead Diggers are going to win this game. Maddie Rule's got to she's got to take over the offense.
She doesn't, and whether that be taking shots or creating opportunities, she needs to be aggressive.
8 seconds to go. Renault down low for Sorensen. Lost control of the basketball out of bounds. It'll be Bead Digger basketball with 7.7 seconds to go. Into Rule, 5 seconds to go. Crossing midcourt with 3. Rule passes it to Odell, tipped away. She puts up a left baseline shot, air ball. and that's going to be the end of the third quarter. Not a good one for the Lady Bead Diggers. They trail 34-28. It's a 1-minute break in this Patriot League Tournament consolation semifinal from Brush on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Strasburg begins the fourth quarter with a basketball. 34-28 Indians in this Patriot League Tournament consolation semifinal. Brooke Miller with a basketball on the outside left to Kendry Renault. Out there with Reagan Renault, Ashlyn Baca, and Brooke Miller. And then the ball is lost along the left baseline, and it's out of bounds, and it is off of the Strasburg Indians. So the Bead Diggers will have it. Maddie Rule, Haley Unrein, Sydney Odell, along with Brooke Rule and Kendall Elliott. Strasburg getting their share of turnovers now. Unrein into the front court, left-handed dribble. Got to get rid of it. Bounce pass in the corner for Rule. Here is Maddie Rule. That was Brooke Rule. Overhead pass right baseline. Odell. Her floater's up, and that's off the front of the rim. And the Bead Diggers are missing some of these shots and not coming very close. And the rebound is controlled by Reagan Renault. And here is the other Renault. Kendry across the timeline at the top. Swings it left side to Miller. Foul by Brooke Rule. That'll be the fourth team foul against the Bead Diggers.
It'll be interesting to see how the refs call it. They've been letting them play. We'll see if that changes here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think the Bead Diggers just got to take it inside. It's their strength.
Yeah.
And here's the floater around, and that is missed by Miller. Baca has it. She banks and scores. They couldn't stop Ashlyn Baca, and the Bead Diggers are in huge trouble now. They're down by 8. 36-28, approaching the 7-minute mark of the game. Brooke Rule with a basketball. Left of the lane for Maddie Rule. Left corner for Sydney Odell. Odell to her right, double team. Bounce pass to Rule. Rule jump pass, right corner for Unrein. Unrein dribbles right baseline, picks up the dribble, lost the basketball, got to get rid of it. And then she's tied up over there. Bead Diggers retain possession. But less dribbling and more passing right now, just moving that ball around.
Yeah, so Strasburg's in a zone, and the best way to beat it is passing and not dribbling. So let's see if they can get some better ball movement.
Possession arrow back to Strasburg the next time, but the Bead Diggers have it now. Elliott's on the high right to Odell. Right corner for Unrein. Here's Odell. The three is going to be banked in by Sydney Odell. I'm not sure she called it, but it doesn't matter. The Bead Diggers need any bucket they can get. They're down by 5, and there's a foul in the backcourt by Brooke Rule. She tried to do the same thing that Brooke Miller did to Wooliver in the third quarter, but Rule commits her second. And now Wooliver's into the game for Unrein. 36-31 Strasburg. 6:36 to go in this Patriot League Tournament consolation semifinal. The home finale for both Bead Digger teams today. On the high right is Renault. Renault gets a pick from Baca, but dribbles right to the lane, back in the right corner for Vincent. Vincent back out to Renault in the corner, guarded by Odell, double team. Then she throws it off of Wooliver out of bounds. And it will be Strasburg basketball near the corner, up by 5, down to 6:21 to go in Brush. The Bead Diggers led by 8 early. Strasburg's biggest lead has been 8. Renault still looking, bounces it off of Odell out of bounds. Now she'll throw it into the left of the basket on the offensive end. Well, if you're having that 5-second count about to hit you, got to get rid of it somehow. Yep. So here we go. Kendry Renault again. Lobs it right baseline. Baca turns, banks it in. Man, she is strong down low. She's got 8. The Bead Diggers trail by 7. 38-31. Wooliver straight away, left of the lane. Wooliver picks up the dribble. Free throw line for Elliott. Dribbles all the way off the glass and around it. No good. And the rebound is into the hands of Kendry Renault on the outlet to Miller. Stripped from behind by Rule. Rule with the basketball, then lost control out of bounds as the teams exchange turnovers there. And it will be Strasburg basketball under 6 minutes to go in the game. They lead by 7. 38-31. Kendry Renault lobs it behind the three-point line there to Jaden Vincent. Tripped up by Amber Wooliver. That would be her third foul. That's the team's 7th 1-and-1 situation. So Vincent to shoot the 1-and-1.
Oh, 16 fouls.
Oh, my bad. And she was at the line. I had seen 6
we got
up there.
Everyone.
Yeah. And to throw it in will be Renault, and the Bead Digger falls down. That might be an offensive foul.
Yep.
Good fouls on Reagan Renault. Another turnover for Strasburg. They've racked up some here in the second half, but they lead by 7. Here is Maddie Rule, left of the lane, all the way, left-handed shot. She missed it badly, going for the rebound, trying to save it in, but it's saved in to Jaden Vincent of Strasburg, and then the ball is batted around in the backcourt and picked up over there by Kendry Renault of the Indians. Renault still in the backcourt, crosses over, gets it into the front court to Reagan Renault. Free throw line, Baca. Now right baseline, Sorensen, fouled by Maddie Rule as she drove to the basket, and Cheyenne Sorensen to the line. Maddie Rule commits her second foul.
Central Auto Parts, you need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take good care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store, Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan.
First free throw is off to the left. You know, every coach wants to say their team is peaking at this time, but that's not happening for Brush because they beat this team 3 weeks ago by 17 on this court. Now they're down by 8 as the second free throw is in.
It's just been inconsistent all game. No rhythm at all offensively.
Sydney Odell, right corner, back out to Rule. Straight away, here's Brooke Rule. Rule on the outside right to Maddie Rule. See, Maddie's almost looking to pass it. I'm telling you, she's too good. Here's the lob inside to Woolever, and she misses off the back of the rim. Rule has the rebound. Back out to Odell. Her shot is off the back of the rim inside the three-point line, and the rebound is controlled by Reagan Renault. The other way, here comes Strasburg, and the ball is batted out of bounds.
I think for Maddie, she's taken a couple of shots and she's missed, so now she's being a little bit more hesitant.
But she's the player.
Yeah, you have to.
You can't just hold the ball and look for cutters at this point. She's too good. She's too good. It's a desperation situation now. Got to take over the game. Here is Miller's shot, left baseline, good. A little 15-footer there from Miller. And all of a sudden, it's a 10-point lead for the Indians, 41-31. She's got 17 in the game. On the outside left, Odell takes the three, and she banks it in. That's 2 threes she's banked.
I think she called that one.
Yeah. She's got 11. It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't have to look pretty. Diggers down by 7, 4.5 to go. I still say Maddie Rule's got to take it over. She's the best player on this court right now on either side. Here's the bounce pass to Renault. Long three, and she banks and misses. Rebound to Baca. Baca lost the ball, was tripped away. There's a tie-up. Possession arrow stays with Strasburg, though. And Baca unofficially with 7 rebounds, and Kendry Renault to throw it in. 41-34. The Indians have come to play tonight. Up by 7. They just had a 10-point lead. Right corner for Baca. Kicks it back out. Poked out of bounds by Woolever. Intended for Reagan Renault. 3/4 court Strasburg to throw it in. It'll be Kendry to throw it in with Sydney Odell right on top of her. And without those threes by Sydney, they'd be in trouble. Bounce pass down low for Baca, and then Maddie Rule wrestles the basketball away, forcing the turnover. Maddie Rule with 4:10 to go across the timeline. Left-handed dribble all the way. Jump pass to Woolever. Little 10-footer left baseline. Good. And there Maddie had to get rid of it because she really had no lane in there. It would have been maybe an offensive foul because they were anticipating her running right into a defender. The Beat Diggers are down by 5, so Rule with the assist. Woolever with the bucket. And that ball is poked out of bounds by Rule on the right side, intended for Miller. Strasburg retains possession. We could be going down to the wire.
Yeah, and Strasburg is going to make Brush shoot outside shots. They've proven this game that they can't make them. So,
and the entry pass intended for Miller, and Brooke Rule ties her up. Possession arrow, Beat Diggers. Brush is on a 5-0 run. And a timeout by the Beat Diggers, and that timeout, Matt, is brought to you by, you can fill in the blank.
Thanks. State Farm Insurance. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office, Greg Mullen and Brush. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today, 842-4555.
Longtime sponsor of Brush Beat Digger Athletics is Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Always appreciate his support. So the Beat Diggers are now down by 5. And I mean, Sydney Odell's hit some clutch threes here.
Yeah.
Both were banked in, but it doesn't matter. You know what? At the end, I've got to eat at night. It doesn't matter presentation sometimes as long as the food is on the table.
Still counts.
And Sydney Odell has hit those threes that are unconventionally made, but if not, they would be down by 11 in this game instead of 5.
Yeah.
And then Maddie Rule with a nice assist there to Amber Woolever. And now the Beat Diggers playing like the team at least the last minute and a half of this game that won by 17 back on January 30th. Here we go with Kenzie Craich in for Brush, Maddie Rule, Amber Wooliver, along with Brooke Rule and Sydney Odell. Cheyenne Sorensen, Brooke Miller, Kendry Renault, Reagan Renault, and Ashlyn Baca for Strasburg. The inbounds pass to Wooliver. Wooliver crossing the timeline. Picked up on the high right by Reagan Renault. In front of the B-Digger bench. Picks up the dribble. Back out to Rule on the bounce. Rule dribbles into the lane. Down low, and the shot is missed by Craich. A little 5-footer. That was too easy. Then a foul in the backcourt. Boy, that was a great feed there by Maddie Rule, but you got to make that shot.
Well, on a positive for Brush, they did foul Baca, who is 0 for 3.
Foul was committed by Maddie Rule, her third. That's a shooting percentage of 0, by the way. Now Baca to shoot the free throw, and that's off the back of the rim. And Amber Wooliver has the basketball then, and the ball's poked out of bounds, but she was fouled. It's only the 15th foul. And talk about a foul that was not smart. Baca committed her third. Kenzie Craich to throw it in. Craich looking, still looking. Got to get rid of it, and does towards Maddie Rule. Maddie Rule comes away with it. Bounce pass to Odell. Her layup is up, and she missed it. Maddie Rule rebounds, banks, and scores. Maddie Rule doing what she does best. She's got a double in this game. She's got 14 points and about, 11, 12 rebounds here, and the B-Diggers are down by 3. They're on a 7-0 run with 3:12 to go. Timeout Strasburg, make it 3:13. Called by longtime head coach Mercy Ames. We'll keep it right here. As the B-Diggers were down 41-31, just about a minute and a half to go, not to go, and now they've gone on a 7-0 run.
And it started with their defense yesterday when they played and went on their run. It started with defense and rebounding, and right now Brush has played solid defense, no easy looks, and that's given offensively good ball movement and open shots for Brush.
Sydney Odell's 3, Amber Wooliver's baseline shot, and Maddie Rule with a rebound and the shot off the glass, and the B-Diggers are all of a sudden down by 3. And plenty of time. They've got to feel comfortable now. Yep. And there is no doubt, Matt, they're going to maintain that backcourt pressure because it's worked here in the fourth quarter. Strasburg only had 7 turnovers in the opening half, and I've got them at 10 right now in the second half.
Yep.
So the B-Diggers come out with the same lineup before they took that timeout, or actually it was Strasburg that took the timeout. And Kendry Renault to throw it in right at midcourt. Sydney Odell right there to guard the inbounds passer. Renault looking, he can throw it in the backcourt and does towards Reagan Renault. Renault across the timeline on the outside left. Back out to Kendry Renault. Boy, Odell's got to watch out and not foul her and get her to the line there. The B-Diggers do have 18 fouls. Brooke Miller against Brooke Rule, dribbling to her left, back out to Renault. Reagan Renault on the right baseline to Cheyenne Sorensen. Bounce pass to Baca. Baca right of the lane. Baca had the ball stripped away by Rule. Long pass to Brooke Rule all the way, puts it up too strong. And the ball is rebounded by Wooliver. She banks and she misses. And there's a tie-up in the backcourt. Possession arrow, Strasburg. Man, the B-Diggers had huge opportunities there. And Sydney Odell might have jammed a wrist or something, or a pinky. Yep, Haley Unrein's going to check back in here for Sydney Odell with 2:41 to go.
It's unfortunate. She's one of the better shooters outside for Brush.
Well, I'll say this. Maddie Rule's been involved on every possession here, which is what the B-Diggers need. Here is Brooke Miller in the backcourt. Swings it back out to Kendry Renault, crosses midcourt. 2:33 to go. Strasburg 41, Brush 38 in this Patriot League Tournament Consolation semifinal. Cross court to Reagan Renault. Check that. That's Kendry. Kendry at the top of the basketball. Gets a pick from Reagan. And it's going to bounce it over there. Back out to Miller. Here is Reagan Renault. Bounce pass down low for Baca. Double team straight away to Miller. On the outside right to Kendry Renault. B-Diggers might foul here at some point. Strasburg in no hurry to get off a shot. Here is Cheyenne Sorensen. Right baseline foul by Kenzie Craich. On the dribble, 19 foul for Brush. Craich with her first personal. And to the line for the 1-and-1 is Cheyenne Sorensen. Strasburg is 1 out of 3 in the second half, 2 out of 8 in the game from the free throw line, so only at 25%, but she makes that one.
Northeastern, for a college that will equip you to go anywhere, look no further than Northeastern. For more information, go to www.njc.edu.
And the second free throw off the rim and in, 43-38. And Strasburg calls that timeout. We'll keep it right here with the Bead Diggers down by 5, so that stops the Bead Digger run at 7-0. But now they cannot afford to have any empty possessions because, Strasburg's not going to shoot the ball.
Yeah. They're going to most likely run a weave or some stall tactic. It'll be interesting to see if Odell will be back in. I don't know how hurt she was. It did look like she was in some serious pain, so we'll see if she comes back from that. But I think they're also missing Cox's speed out there and the energy she gives.
Well, it's all about the offense right now. Maddie Rule with the basketball across the timeline. Bounce pass to Crate straight away. Now to Rule. Rule is left by herself. Now dribbles towards the left baseline. Picks up the dribble. Back out to Wolliver. Wolliver behind the three-point line. Swings it left side to Brooke Rule. Cross-court pass to Crate. Here's Maddie Rule in the right corner. Rule dribbles to her left. Down to 1:47 to go. Straight away three unrhymed off the back of the rim. But Kenzie Crate chases down the rebound for the Bead Diggers. Down low for Rule. Shot is up and in with the left hand. Maddie Rule scores. Maddie Rule now has 16 in the game. Timeout Bead Diggers brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Brush trails 43-40. 1:37 to go. And again, Maddie Rule getting involved. She's got 4 points in the quarter, 10 in the half, and as I mentioned, 16 in the game with a number of assists as well. And how many rebounds you got for?
I have 11.
Okay, let me just chalk up another one there. Now I have 11 now too, so I missed one somewhere.
Who knows? She could be nearing a triple-double if we kept the assists.
That's a good point. I'm willing to bet she's got at least 5 or 6 assists in the game.
Yeah.
But then again, the Bead Diggers only have 40 points.
Yeah.
So it also tells you that if they were making their shots, she would be closer to 10 assists. All right, to throw it in will be Cheyenne Sorensen for Strasburg. In the backcourt, gets it to Miller, dribbles along the right baseline. Miller had it poked from behind by Brooke Rule, did not feel the pressure, and the Bead Diggers away with the basketball. 1:28 to go. Maddie Rule on the high right with the basketball. Still looking. Bounces it back out to Craich. Down to 1:21 to go. Craich near the corner. Jump pass to Brooke Rule. Little 10-footer. Good! Brooke Rule scores, and the Bead Diggers are to within one. Timeout, Brush.
There you go, freshman.
With 1:16 to go. And the Bead Diggers right now are on an 11-2 run. They were down 41-31, and all of a sudden, they've scored 11 of the last 13 points.
Now you're just hoping to play good defense and get a steal, and then if you have to foul, you have to foul. But you want to play good defense. It's still plenty of time to manage to get a steal. We'll see what Strasburg does on offense. But
I think I just heard Greg with my imaginary ear. He wants the Bead Diggers to be like Vanessa Williams, where you save the best for last. Might just be me. I don't know.
No, I think you're right on that.
Yeah, I think I'm right too. Yeah. So the Bead Diggers trail by 1. But again, this is a huge stretch for Brush. Keep in mind they scored only 7 points in the third quarter. They've got 14, double of that here in the fourth. It is Rule along with both Rules, Maddie and Brooke, along with Sydney Odles back in the game. They need her offense, quite frankly, and she's very pesky defensively.
Yep.
Amber Wolliver and Kenzie Craich. Cheyenne Sorensen to throw it in. Out there with both Renaults, along with Brooke Miller and Ashlyn Baca. Sorensen in the backcourt. Sorensen gets it over there to Kindry Renault. They're not going to shoot the basketball. Bead Diggers need a steal or a foul. Renault still in the backcourt with 1:08 to go across the timeline. Renault swings it back out, and we've got a timeout called by Mercy Ames of Strasburg with 64 seconds to go. Is going down to the floor was Kendry Renault. And it's a 43-42 Strasburg lead. Strasburg scored only 32 points here on January the 30th, and the Bead Diggers had 49 in that 17-point win. But
how many did they have last night?
19 points.
Yeah. Well, and they've lived by the 3. They have 1, 2, 3, 4.
I've got them
5,
with 7.
6. Yeah, 7.
But none in this quarter.
No.
They've scored 9 points as a team in this quarter. I mean, I still sense that I'd be surprised if Brush didn't win this game because they're better than this team. But they have missed so many easy shots.
Yeah.
The outside game is not there. But ironically, it was the outside game that got it started when Odell hit that 3 when they were down by 10. And then they've gone from that to the inside. So let's see what happens. If the Bead Diggers can come up with a steal. With 1:04 to go, and to throw it in just beyond half court here is Cheyenne Sorensen. Looking in the backcourt, still looking. And then the ball is poked away by Brooke Rule. Rule with the basketball on the right wing. Rule kicks it back out to Odell. Odell near that left corner for Wolliver. Wolliver lobs it down low for Maddie Rule. Maddie Rule drove the ball, lost it, got it back. Here is Kenzie Craich over to Sydney Odell on the right side. Takes a dribble in the lane. She's trapped back out to Craich. Right side, Wolliver. Shot is up, and that is going to be short. And the rebound is into the hands of the Strasburg Indians and Renault. And the Bead Diggers need to foul here with 37 seconds to go here. And there's a foul by Brush.
It's unfortunate. They got the steal they wanted, and they had just weren't patient enough on offense, I think.
10-team foul, 2 free throws coming up here for Brooke Miller. Yeah, she had the open look, and Miller's been red hot in this game. She's got 17 points, including 4 triples, and that free throw's off the back of the rim. But that's the bugaboo here for Strasburg. They have missed a lot of free throws in this game. That's 7 free throw misses for Strasburg. Second free throw, good. 44-42. Strasburg, 34 seconds to go. Across the timeline and nearly stripped, and we got a tie-up between Brooke Rule and Brooke Miller, but the Bead Diggers retain possession. Boy, luckily.
I thought that was a quick whistle, but that's very lucky for Brush.
And to throw it in is Craich to the left of the Bead Digger bench. Craich with 31.9 to go. Swings it near the right corner to Brooke Rule. Jump pass down low for Maddie Rule. And she puts it up and in! Straight away for Maddie Rule. And the game is tied at 44 as Rule scores. She's got 18 in the game. Strasburg the other way. Long pass to Renault. Puts it up. It's an air ball. And Wolliver comes away with the basketball. And we've got a foul in the backcourt. And that'll be the 6th-team foul. It should be against Strasburg. Now the officials are discussing things, and taking a shot to the gut there was Amber Wolliver. And Brooke Miller commits the foul. And the Bead Diggers will have a shot here to send the game. Well, check that.
Yeah, we're
They'll
not
have the basketball,
yet.
Yeah, Strasburg, if they stop Brush, they can send the game into overtime. But it's the 6th-team foul. And with 14.9 seconds to go, the Bead Diggers will have possession of the backcourt, deadlocked at 44. And Kenzie Craich will throw it in, and Strasburg will apply the pressure.
Right now for Brush, it's just being strong with the ball. You know they're going to play high-pressure defense.
Craich to throw it in. Still looking, gets it into Maddie Rule. Rule across the timeline. It's a 2-on-2. Dribbling towards the right baseline. Lean, shoots, and it's around the rim and no good! And the rebound is into the hands of Reagan Renault, and a timeout by Strasburg with 5.6 seconds to go. Oh, Maddie Rule had the shot she wanted.
It was a good look.
And Strasburg, if they don't score, this game will go to overtime. Deadlocked at 44, 5.6 seconds to go. And it'll be Strasburg basketball.
For Brush, you just got to make sure you play good defense, but don't foul. It'll be interesting to see what Strasburg comes up with. I think they'll have the ball. They'll have to take up full court. I would expect Brush to press so they can't walk the ball up.
Boy, it'd be nice to see the Bead Diggers come up with a steal. Their defense is good enough. They could come up with one right now and win the game, even in regulation.
Yeah.
I mean, Strasburg has shown a propensity not to handle the ball consistently well.
Yeah, they don't got a true ball handler, which does not help them.
And they're throwing it in from their own backcourt. Cheyenne Sorensen to trigger it in for Strasburg with 5.6 seconds to go. Tied at 44. The Beat Diggers apply the pressure. Sorensen looking in the backcourt. Oh, there's a foul.
Yeah.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
That's an offensive foul on Baca, the illegal screen. She was moving that hip to free up her teammate there. That'll be a turnover, and now the Beat Diggers can win the game in regulation. 4th foul. Boy, that's a big call. Now that's an offensive foul, so you do not go to the line. And Kenzie Craich now to throw it in. And the Beat Diggers can win it in regulation. Craich looking. She's got Rule wide open in the left baseline. Kicks it back out to Wolliver. 3 in the air. Oh! It's good! She banked it in! Amber Wolliver banked it in, and the Beat Diggers win the game!
What a finish!
47-44. What a shot, and the Beat Diggers will play for 5th place. Coming up on Friday at noon. Holy mahungus. Brush 47, Strasburg 44. Let's take a 2-minute break on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.
The Brush Beat Digger postgame show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Farm and Home Center. They're your headquarters for all your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed, with 3 locations serve you: Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan.
The Beat Diggers win the game over the Strasburg Indians 47-44 on Amber Wolliver's 3 off the glass at the buzzer. The 3rd 3 the Beat Diggers hit off the glass as they were down by as many as 10, but Brush closes the game on an incredible 16. Let's see, that was a 16-3 run. And they win the game 47-44. They were down by 6 points after 3 and 10 in the 4th. But again, they win this game with that 16-3 run. Matt, let's run through the totals here as the Beat Diggers advance to the 5th place game coming up on Friday at noon from Butler, Hancock, and Greeley.
Yeah, so for Strasburg, your leading scorer was Miller with 16. And you got Renault with 13 and Baca with 8. For Brush, your leading scorer was Maddie Rule with 18 and 11 with Wolliver with the big 3 at the end, and then 3 for Odell with her 3s. Turnover-wise, you got Strasburg with 20 and Brush had 17. Brush did out-rebound 34-32. Brush went 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Strasburg went 5 from 11. Strasburg did hit 7 threes, and Brush hit 5 threes. No bigger than the final one.
Well, and what were we saying? That the Brush outside game was basically non-existent tonight. And then all of a sudden, by the way, hopefully I've got the perfect video of that last shot that I'll put up on YouTube, as I was getting a call at the very same time that that shot was being taken by Amber Wolliver. So the Beat Diggers come away with an incredible victory, 47-44. I mean, it almost felt like an elimination game.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're talking about a team that was dead in the water past the midway point there. The 4th quarter down by 10. But, you know, I mean, they're the better team on the floor. And it took until the final 4 minutes to show that desperation. We'll see if Coach Hollander roams around there. We'll get a quick word with her.
Maybe she likes you more than Greg.
Well, she's shied away from me many times, but after a victory like that, after a win like that, I mean, that's pretty exciting for Brush.
And it started once again with defense. Brush went on a 7-0 run and stingy defense, and that caused them good shots on offense. As I mentioned in the beginning, Strasburg live or die by the 3. They were living for a long time with the 3, and they just went cold at the end and couldn't really get an inside game or outside game going due to Brush's defense.
Well, and look at the turnovers in the second half that the Beat Diggers forced in the game.
Yeah.
When they only had 7 at halftime, and then the Beat Diggers forced, 13 in the second half, and that certainly made a difference. But I got to tell you this, I mean, now the negative to this game, if they don't play a lot better here coming up on Friday, they will not win, because this was not, let's face it, I mean, this is not a very impressive performance for 4 quarters by Brush. In fact, as we are live here on 1010 KSIR, Brush, Fort Morgan, Weldona, as well as KSIR.com. They've got to play considerably better. But, you know, sometimes, Matt, the sign of a good team is one that still wins despite not playing their best basketball, and that was the case tonight for the Bead Diggers.
Definitely.
And now they will take on either Liberty Common or Platte Valley. That game is being played in Fort Collins. We'll see if we can get an update on that one through various forms of social media, because that was a 6 o'clock start. But again, Amber Wooliver, who hits the game-winning shot for Brush, the 3, finishing with 9 points. And on a night when the Bead Diggers' outside game really struggled, they were able to pick up the victories. If you see Coach Hollander, let me know. If not, we will, because if she makes her way onto the floor, we'll wait a couple of more minutes here and see if somehow we can flag her down. I mean, I have to imagine that she's
pretty pumped.
pumped and even mentally exhausted from a game like that, in which she was looking perhaps at her team playing a 9 a.m. game on Friday for 7th place, which, quite frankly, would not have been what the Bead Diggers wanted, considering that, I mean, as I mentioned before, they were the better team 3 weeks ago by a long shot. And Strasburg was coming off a game last night in which they tallied only 19 points against Eaton. And I know Eaton's defense is pretty solid, but just given that alone, I figured, well, you know, maybe the Bead Diggers are going to have plenty of momentum because, let's face it, they played a Resurrection Christian team last night that could have beaten Brush by 20 points the way Brush was playing in that second quarter.
Yeah.
And yet the Bead Diggers come away here with a 47-44 victory. So keep in mind, we'll have that final shot on YouTube. That'll be on our KSIR Facebook page, KSIR Sports, that is, on Twitter and on Facebook, as well as B106. All right. We'll take a 3-minute break, and Greg Gatto will settle into the chair with Matthew Jarrell for the Brush Boys game in this consolation semifinal coming up against Estes Park. The final score, the Brush girls defeat, well, is that Coach Hollander down there?
It is, but she's,
well, I could chase her down, trust me. I could definitely, but it's all right. 47-44, the Bead Diggers win right here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.